Dear countrymen and countrywomen, since my last two updates, the country has seen a more aggressive. The daily number of people testing positive for corona has increased from less than 100 to now over 1,700. This represents a growth of 17 times, 17-fold increase in daily cases. As a result, our epidemic curve is now on steep rise, with increased reports of death nationwide. Let's see that curve, that figure of the epidemic, the graph. The graph, you can see now on the left, that was the beginning, which grew very slowly, until about September, when it started going up. Then it came down. Then it went up in December. Then we brought it down. It was very low. Now it is climbing very fast and very high. Thank you. In addition, the proportion of people testing positive from samples tested, what they call the positivity rate, has remained as high as 17%. In other words, when you test one, than 5%. We should reach a situation where when you test 100 people, only 5 have corona. But when you have 17 out of 100 with corona, then you are in danger. There's also what the scientists call doubling time. Okweyongera emirundi ebiri. Ekibadde 10 nekituuka kwa 2. This is the time it takes for the number of cases detected to double. If the cases have been 10 in a week, to become 20 in a week. The shorter this time is, the more intense the virus is spreading in the community. These are measurements by these scientists that if it takes a shorter time for the sick people to go from 10 per week to 20 per week, then that means that you are in a bad situation. This time used to be 68 days in the past when we were fighting this disease. It would take 68 days for 10 to become 20. But now it is taking 31 days in just 1 week. This means that if no major shift in the response is done, the pandemic intensity will double in 1 month. We are experiencing very high hospitalization rates and death for COVID-19 patients among all age categories. The hospitals are full. They are full. Cases have now expanded to cover most of the country. When I addressed you 3 weeks ago, only 61 districts had significant spread of the virus. As of 16th of June, 108 districts, as shown in this map, have corona. The bad districts are which one? The ones with the red, with the pink. that's Kampala, Wakiso. You can see the ones who are the highest. Then the other pink ones are what? Let me see. These colors are not clear here. The pink ones are the ones which are, the green ones are the ones which are still all right. That's correct? Correct. The green ones, now you can see the green ones are shrinking, they're disappearing. The green ones are very few now. Most of the districts have the virus, but Wakiso, Kampala are the highest. They are the highest. Kampala, Wakiso are the highest. Now, the top 20 districts with corona in the last 21 days. Kampala, 15,347 in 21 days. Omutwaro, mwenku mitano, mubisatu, mwana musanvu. When I put it in our local language, it is clear. That's now Kampala. Kampala, eisemu. Your Kampala, you fail. 15,000 people identified, I think, with the corona in 20 days. Wakiso is the next one. 2,214. The Gulu, Yedako, 1. Tororo, 352. Masaka, 312. Busia, Zona Ziriao, they are all following one another. Jinja, Mbare, Mukono, Soroti, Mpiji, Chotera, Arua, Yumbe, Kasese, Chiriandongo, Hoima, Kabarore, those are 89. Total 20,000 people in 21 days. Given the nature of this virus, the moment you detect one case, then it is a matter of time until the infections expand and the number increases. We have noted a number of danger signals in the trend of the pandemic. These help to alert us to how we are doing. Some of these include increasing number of daily COVID-19 cases per week. In the week, to go from 2,000 to 6,000. Now, in June, we're going to 9,000 per week. The positivity rate, percentage of people who have virus in 100 people. In May, we had 10%. In June, 16%. June, end of May, beginning of June. From 5th of June to 11th of June, 17%. Then there's another danger sign. Decreasing admission rate was 12% in May, 10% in June, 8% in June middle. Increasing proportion of severe and critical cases. In May, it was 49 people. In percentage, out of the people with the corona, how many were with severe symptoms. It was 49% in May. It went 47 in June beginning. It is now 57%. So out of the 100 people with corona, now 57% of them have severe or critical. It's no longer the other one that they are sick but mild. That's the situation now. And then the other one, which I had told you before, the doubling time. In May, it would take 68 days, 10 to become 20. In June, it was 36 days. In June middle now, it is 32 days. So it is taking shorter for the numbers to double. Okubiyamu bbiri. Abalwadde okubiyamu emirundi ebiri kati kitwala ennaku 32. Emabegako kyali kitwala ennaku 68. The rapid surge in the intensity of the pandemic appears unprecedented but still manageable using the similar measures we have used since last year at the beginning of the pandemic and in all our previous revolutionary endeavors in the past more than 50 years. Because in the past we had the same problems, AIDS, Ebola. When we take measures to prevent, we succeed. This situation was anticipated by the government and hence manageable because we have got correct diagnosis and the means to tackle it. To date, the country has registered a total of 68,778 COVID cases. Ezimanyidwa, the ones we know, the ones who came for checking. Where 973 patients severe, and 79 were critical. Out of this 68,700 something, 973 of them were either severe, 894, or critical, 79. These are currently on active admission at both private and public treatment facilities across the country. And 42 deaths were reported today. Today we lost 42 people. Just today, 42 people. This brings the reported total death to 542. These are reported and confirmed deaths by PCR testing, but there may be more deaths diagnosed by other means. However, we are cognizant that both the number of COVID-19 cases and deaths may be higher than this, and the Minister of Health is later, some other time. However, apart from individuals or centers without being tested, scientists have also brought to my notice a situation where COVID-19 patients may falsely test negative. For example, the individuals may have taken the test and the virus is no longer in the nose or the throat, but the virus is in other parts of killing yourself directly. It does so by causing an excessive allergic reaction where the body, especially the lungs, produce a lot of fluids in response to the invasion by the virus. I had them calling it cytokine storm, that the lungs drown themselves with their own fluids produced in panic. Like the munyira, when you have a cold, the munyira is yours, it's not the virus. The mucus is yours, is yours, it's not the virus, but the virus provokes you to produce those mucus in an attempt to fight the virus, but in the process, the reaction can also cause problems to the host. Some of these deaths may not be immediately classified as COVID-19 until further investigation is done. In the longer run, most COVID-19 related illnesses and death will be well documented. But as noted above, despite the rapid escalation of the outbreak, the hospitalization rates have remained low and dropping from 12 to 8% over the past weeks, as in the table above. This signals intense that the health system is beginning to get strained. We must do everything to protect the integrity of the health system. Since my address 3 weeks ago, the severely and critically ill COVID patients have more than doubled, straining the available oxygen supply. An average non-COVID critical patient consumes 1 to 2 oxygen cylinders per day. However, a severely ill COVID-19 patient needs 4 to 6 cylinders per day of oxygen. The current national daily oxygen consumption stands at 3,000 cylinders per day, where each cylinder is 6,800 liters. With the estimated COVID-19 patient increase in the coming weeks, the daily oxygen consumption will rise to 25,000 cylinders per day in one month, unless we change the course. This is nearly a nine-fold increase in the overall national oxygen requirement. The current overall national oxygen production, oxygen plants linked to our referral and national regional hospitals, including the private sector, is 3,000 cylinders against the daily consumption that stands at 3,000 cylinders. So according to this, actually the still in balance. This is what I'm seeing here. The current oxygen challenge we are facing is the availability of empty cylinders for distribution, or the oxygen is being produced, but the cylinders to distribute it are not enough. Of course, if cases keep expanding, it can also outstrip the production capacity. Anyway, it makes no difference whether the oxygen is there, but the cylinders are not there, or the cylinders are there, but the oxygen is not there. It's all the same. The patient doesn't get the oxygen. So we shall solve both. As I indicated in my last update, the current hospital beds to manage COVID-19 patients stands at 3,793, as summarized below. Mulago standard bed 600, high dependence 300, intensive care 27. Mulago Women's Hospital, high dependence 60. All the regional referral hospitals together, standard beds 900, high dependency 115, intensive care unit 150, non-body treatment unit 1,300 standard beds. Bombo Military Hospital 120 standard beds. The 7 Ministry of Health accredited private facilities 475, standard beds 3,100. But when the crisis was starting, I told these people to prepare for 42,000 beds. I told them they're here, all of them. Prepare for 42,000. How did I come up with the figure of 42,000? I saw what was happening in Italy, and that's how they were. They were needing 42,000 beds, and I thought that was the worst case scenario in the world. You use it for planning your own. So there has been slow response among these people. When I say, why didn't you do this? I say, Minister of Preventive Health and Urgent Care for the severe ill. This is the crucial thing. Prevent infections so that few are infected, if at all, and because there are few, you are able to look after them. This is the whole formula. Yeah. In Europe, so many people died, and in the United States, I saw one clown calling himself a politician. He was somewhere talking, oh, the weak health system in Uganda, weak health system. The United States, I don't think they have a weak health system. But they have lost 600,000 people dead and buried. 600,000. We don't have a single district. Not many districts in Uganda now have 600,000 people population. I think it is only Arua, which may be 600,000. I think my district of Ntungamo is approaching that. Maybe Mubende. Or the other districts. Wakiso would be among those with more than 600,000. So you can imagine all the people in Arua dying. Child, man, what, in the United States? Is it because they had a poor health system? Rubbish. They had a very good health system, but they did not manage the issue of prevention. So the very good health system was overtaken by the numbers. So the strategy, minimize, prevent infections, so that you have few people who are infected, if at all. Because remember that, like in May, April, March, we were no longer having infected people. There were very few. It can be achieved. We were having very few people. And because you have got few people who are infected, then you can look after them well. You can look after them more effectively. So our strategy is preventive health, to minimize the numbers, and urgent care for the severely ill. This is the strategy, my dear countrymen, and women also. So don't say that I've forgotten women. To all of you, countrymen and women, mwena sinagwena rabide. This is the strategy. Prevent so that the few who are infected are able to be managed effectively. This will be tackled in two ways. A, urgent interruption or minimization of community transmission to cushion the health system, sustain our people's economic lives, and save lives using previously used containment measures. As you can see, I'm now a puppet of Dr. Musenero and her group. I'm just reading what they wrote for me. Just a good puppet. But so I'm using their language. Their language is not easily understood by we ordinary people. What they mean here by community transmission and what they are mbantu. The sickness has already gone in the population. I think previously they were using the word imported. Imported. That is when the disease was still coming from the truck drivers. You remember that time? Was coming from the truck drivers from Kenya, was coming from Dubai, from the airport. They were calling it imported or what?